Welcome to that spiritual, actual, factual answers to questions you're asking. You find them inside you, recite you, reciting the records. Akashic, we laughing, we drafting the passion through various. It's time for that comedy, dramedy, all of the fanciest, catchiest acronyms. Listeners, listen, we traveling. Consciousness is always unraveling. The reading you're having is mapping you back to your natural habitat. Abracadabra, it's magic, let's basking it. To top it off, the host, all the classiest. Now, what were you asking for? All of the answers? What? All the answers.
I have 6 open cans of beverage on this desk.
Before you say anything interesting, let me record. Save it.
Go.
Yeah. You have 6 different beverages on your desk. What are they? Walk us through it.
Well, I have 6 open cans and a cup with other stuff. So 7 beverages.
And are each can a totally different thing, or do you have some duplicates?
Duplicates. Here's what I have, America. So many burps. I have 3 cans of Spendrift Pamplemousse sparkling water.
Are 2 of them empty, or are they all at half?
I'm about to tell you.
I'm interviewing you, so I want to interact with this conversation. I don't want it to be a monologue. I want to ask the question that you're going to answer.
I want to just tell you.
Tell me everything. Go.
You already asked. This one is full. These 2 are empties. Then, just wait.
It gets more interesting.
This Coke Zero tiny thing that's halfway empty. I should have just finished that. But no, there's another one.
And have you opened that other one?
No.
Okay.
Since I realized this one, now I have to determine if this is still cold and worthy of drinking. Let's find out.
Do the test.
It's going to work.
Okay, good. Good.
It's going to work. Only problem is it's 6:39 here p.m. So
Yeah, should you be drinking caffeine?
Hard pass. No. I should not.
I just took a 3 to 5 hour energy shot because they ended up at my house because Denise in her moving was like saying, take things from my kitchen. And so some of the things that I took were these little energy shots, which I would never buy for myself. Those, 5 hour energy things that you buy at the counter of a 7-Eleven.
You drank one of those?
Yeah. Because I didn't have any coffee today and I figured I'm going to dress rehearsal tonight and I needed to have something juicing through my system.
And?
It's fine for now. We'll see.
Is it worth it? Like, are you having
I don't know.
Heart palpitations yet?
No. Steady hand. Rock steady.
Okay. Well, it's funny how different bodies are. If I had 3 sips of that, I'd be in trouble.
There isn't even 3 sips. It's one of those little tiny shot bottles.
I know. That's what I mean. Just like the littlest.
Just the teeniest little. It's that taurine.
Yeah.
That's the shit.
Yeah. That's the business.
That's the business. It's not like a whole Red Bull or like a big Monster energy drink. I'm not. Oof.
Red Bull, I one time had actual heart palpitations. That's where my fear comes from. Is I had a Red Bull in Europe once when I was young, too. This is before I even knew I had a sensitive body. And my heart said, we're going to die today. And I said, just give me a minute. And then we didn't die.
I know that's one of those drinks that like club kids do. They like Red Bull and vodka. So it's like a soporific with a upper. It's an upper and a downer smashed together.
See, that I feel like I could handle.
You think one would balance the other out?
For me, yeah, I think so. Because the Red Bull by itself, no thanks. But like a little vodka in there, sure, cut it down. Cut it down a notch.
Fair enough.
Here's why I'm so tired.
Tell me.
At 6:30 p.m. I'm pretty sure it's because I did Orange Theory yesterday.
That's a workout regime at a type of a club.
Yep.
And is it specific? Like, do they have a system?
Mm-hmm.
Tell me about it. I'm not going to ask any more questions.
I'll
let you tell me.
Should I wait? So you're basically rotating stations the whole time, which keeps it like real not boring, which is my main MO of like, I can't exercise if I'm bored. I can't.
Yeah.
Nor can I do it if there's no accountability. So like you go to a class, you sign up, you be there, you pay ahead of time, you get there. First I rowing machine, then move, then your weights, Then back to the row, row, row. Then you're on the treadmill, run, run, walk, walk, climb, climb, walk, climb, run, and it's over. And it was like, it felt like 20 minutes, but it was.
And are there other people doing it at the exact same time as you?
Everybody's in the room together. There's like groups of people in the same sort of rotation as you and groups of people that are in the opposite rotation. But the music is crazy. The coach is like, 30 more seconds. You got this. High five. Like, it's real, like, get it, go. Yeah. But like, weirdly, like, not annoying, just what you need. Because otherwise you're like, okay, I'm on a treadmill. But it's like, no, it's music and everybody's here and you're going. And I loved it. And I burned 70 million calories. And then they show you're being heart monitored the whole time.
Really?
Yeah, you have a thing on your arm you are watching a digital printout of what's happening for your heart in real time and your fat and your calories. And it's all on a screen that you can see the whole time.
And everybody else can see yours and theirs as well. You just got to locate yours on Jesus.
Correct.
That's some accountability for your ass.
I kind of love it because you get these things called splat points, which is where every minute that your heart rate is in the orange zone, Orange Theory, you get a point. And the number of points you get per session tells you something about something.
And does it like go like a jizz on the screen when you hit a certain marker?
I wish it made that sound. There's an image that looks like a jizz splat for real.
Like an orange jizz, like you had too much beets before.
Yeah, it's just jizz. It just looks like jizz. It looks like a raindrop that splattered on a thing, but whatevs. Yeah.
More fun to call it jizz.
Yeah. Pretty much.
I've started working out in the morning with Rami because Rami's in town doing their show. So, somebody to hold me to something because there's that accountability. And it's a really lightweight, like app-based, pretty easy. But even that pretty easy, I'm like, oh, I'm a year behind myself. Like, because my shoulder was bad for so long, like I hadn't done push-ups. Like I could usually do even when I was out of shape, 10 or 20 push-ups, no problem. And then I could work up to that 6. I'm like, I might die. My body is like nauseous and shaking, but then I push through it and, I'm doing better. It's something to not have your body have the thing you want it to have, just strength-wise.
It's so weird. Aging is what we're talking about. Aging is the fucking weirdest.
Yeah, aging and stillness. Like if you don't keep, we're sharks, if you don't keep moving, you die. So when we sit still for 3 years of a pandemic, we were really good at the beginning of it. And then towards the later part of it, my shoulder was messed up and I stopped doing anything. And then my body just went to sleep and, and I thought, well, I'm okay. I can do shit. And then I'd be like, I lost all my strength, but it's back. And that's the other thing that feels great. Okay. By the way, that drink is working. Can you tell? I can feel myself blathering. The shoulder was a mess for a year. And so just to go do a jumping jack and not panic in the middle of it is such it almost makes me want to cry. It's like, oh, your body's back. I still feel it, but it's not in the way. I can do shit now.
That's amazing. I'm happy for you.
But no, I can't use it as an excuse.
Son of a bitch.
Now I have to do things.
Do we have questions, right? Do we have questions?
I don't know. We have a big meaty question from Margaret's husband. If we want to take that one on, that's something to do.
That's big and meaty?
It was like one of those life path. How do I clear out the sticky parts of my life? I mean, it's just one of those. Well,
he's talking about being a 6'2" and when to stop waiting and all kinds of shit. What I wanted to do when I saw the question was we have to voice memo Margaret and be like, all right, now I need to follow up with him with 4 different follow-up questions.
Right. Do you want to follow up before we put it on the cast?
No, I think we should try it real time. Let's see if she responds.
If she's awake in the middle of the night right now.
Oh, is it middle of the night?
Yeah, she's in Australia.
Let's try. She's a weird lady.
What time is it in Australia right now?
Don't worry about it. Just ask her. Just be like, bitch, are you up? And she'll be like, no, leave me alone. Or she'll be like, yes.
Oh, yeah, it's the morning right now, so it's fine.
All right, let's ask her. Here, I'll do it.
Okay, send her a message.
I'm going to do it. We're going to hear it. It's going to be live.
This is great.
This is happening.
While Katie's getting that set up, we just got the lovely, lovely long message from Margaret, who is, one of our BFOPs, best friend of podcast, or biggest fan of podcast, one could also say.
Big fat orange podcast. Hey, Margaret, real quick. We're on the podcast right now. This is live. I need you to get your husband, and I need to be able to follow up with him in real time about some things he's asking about, because the way he's asking is a little too general. I mean, no fault of his, but like I need him to specify some things. So please get him right now, bring him to your telephone, and we're going to read his question on the podcast. And then I'm going to ask you stuff to ask him, and then he'll tell us, and then you see what's happening. In other words, are you available? Can we talk to you or your husband?
She could probably just call direct, and we could actually have him on sort of live through your phone.
Okay.
Through your phone speaker.
That could work. This is something you need to know. In my phone, there's an entry. I just pulled up Margaret thinking like, let me see if I have her number. I have this. This is so what I do, because I was old before I was old and can't remember anything ever. I write elaborate names for people when I plug them into my phone. Okay. If I was going to save your name, I would write Cassidy podcast, did a lot of plays with him. Used to have a beard, doesn't have one now. Because then I'll be like,
Kamal Jackson, Warner Brown.
Because I'll be like, Cassidy who? And where did I meet him? And I don't know who this guy is. So I don't know who this person is. But this is what it says in my phone. Margaret, sassy lesbo, cougar, jobs. Margaret, sassy lesbo, cougar, Jobs. I'm sorry, Jobs. J-O.
Oh, that's her last name. Rather than she might be someone you'd contact for some jobs, maybe?
No, but J-O-B-E-S, unless it's a typo.
Oh, B-E-S, yeah.
Jobs. Also, cougar, knowing me, could mean she's older and hot.
Right. Or you guys had a conversation about cougaring.
Right. Sassy lesbo cougar Jobs. No idea what. See, I still don't know who that is.
Right. Well, if you are listening to the podcast, go ahead and send us an email at allanswerspod@gmail.com saying, I think I'm the sassy lesbo cougar you're talking about.
I'm doing the obnoxious thing where I'm pinging Margaret with the word hi like a bunch of times in a row so that her phone makes noises.
Rude.
In case she didn't see her phone. Hi. Hi.
Hey, hi. Hi.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi. Okay. All right, cool. We're working on that. So while we're working on that, I'm trying to think if there were profound spiritual. Oh, I can tell you something going on astrologically that's like a whole thing.
Good do.
I mean, we're in a Pisces moment with the moon right now for a bunch of days. Oh my God. I wish I was going to say, have you been feeling it? But I forgot who I'm talking to. You're probably going to say no, right?
No, well, I don't know what it is. So
yeah, that's fair. It's okay. Qualities of Pisces, the most sensitive sign of the zodiac, the most transcendent into otherworldliness, the most spiritual, you could say, the most into altered states of consciousness, like getting high, drinking alcohol, meeting God, any like Molly, ecstasy, anything, altered states of consciousness, psychicness, watery, moody, emotional. So people like myself who have strong Pisces placements in the chart are going to be like extra Piscean at the moment because of what the fucking moon is doing with Pisces. I feel like I am made of feelings and water and wind and no other things.
I think I could probably say that I'm feeling it. I'm not feeling it as strong with myself. I have other things to say about my own journey right now, but I am aware of how easily I can feel other people right now.
And that empathy, empaths, yes, heightened.
And really, really have to work to not tumble into other people's space.
Boundarylessness.
Yeah.
That's Pisces. That's Pisces.
Okay. Well, yeah, I'm feeling that. And I'm watching other people fall apart a little bit, people I care about and struggle, and trying really hard to keep that perfect balance of like, I've got you, I'm there for you, I hear you, I love you, and I cannot fall in with you. Because if I fall in with you, I won't get back out.
I give you a lot of credit for holding that boundary. Because words that I didn't say. You just literally said every word that was left to say about Pisces. Boundarylessness, empathy, heightened empathy, and heightened sensitivity. I can't believe you did that. That was like so spot on. You are feeling it.
I am feeling it. I don't know if this is relevant, but I'm going to share. I'm trying to think of, it's not my short story to tell, so I'm going to be a little bit vague about it.
Sure.
But two people I know and love, one of whom especially is very not into anything not 3D. I think you can probably maybe guess who it is.
I just heard in your mind.
Oh, you heard that?
Yeah.
So he had a dream, very specific dream, about something that happened, like with the name of the disorder that he was struggling with in the dream.
Okay.
Like he was suffering from X disease. And he told his partner about it the next day, who they don't live together, right? Someone else just was like, oh my God, I had this dream. And their partner freaked out because the partner was like, I literally dreamed that you had that disease. And it had nothing to, like, the disease is not a thing that either of them would have been thinking about.
And they dreamed it on the same night?
They dreamed it on the same night.
That's cool.
Like that boundary, the veil is, the walls are down. And of course, Mr. Skeptic is like, oh, yep, okay, well, that did happen. I recognize that happened. And I'm a little freaked out and kind of excited about it. But really, but also I can't deny that we both just spoke those words to each other.
Yeah, see, now I don't know who we're talking about.
Oh.
Because they don't have a partner. Oh, but I have another idea now.
Oh, yeah, it's not that person. There you go.
I don't know who that is. Oh, got you.
Yeah. So I just love that story. When they told me,
that's amazing.
I was like, and it was their other partner, not the wife, but the partner.
Okay. Rock on. Oh, Nelly.
So that's fun.
That is fun. This will sound like a non sequitur that I'm saying for only comedic reasons, but it's not. I need to get laid. And here's, which is a funny thing to say.
Girl, you go in phases because you're like getting all the tang right now. Boom, pam, pow. Can't stop it. And then a month later, I got to get laid.
Just nothing. Desert. Crickets. But part of why I say that in this context is it's another aspect of the Pisces thing. Like for me, I'm so on the emotional level, watery and boundaryless in general that, I mean, Pisces can be very having sex with anybody, everybody, all the time, forever, whenever, because boundaries are what, you know? And so, and I have Pisces moon, which is connected to it's the emotional realm. So your emotions, for a lady person in particular, connected to the horny. Pisces is happening. So like for me, it's like all the addictive tendencies are up, as is my psychic awareness. So I'm like walking around just like very porous, and like I'm always kind of porous in a way with the psychicness, but like the horn doggery has been amped. It's a little amped up.
It's not coming through. You're not getting.
Well, I'm not actually, there's nobody on my radar who I would like make something happen with at this time. You know, there's usually like, if there's somebody on the radar who you're like, let's see what we could get cooking. You send a couple texts and there you go. But there's nobody I would do. That's just not in the air at the moment. It's more just like a vibe where I'm like, what's been fun for me is I've been very, what's the word I want to use? Non-specific in my typeness.
Oh.
I've been like, you're hot, that guy's hot, that lady's hot. And then my mind has been like, I don't know, let's imagine fucking an elephant today. Sure.
Right.
Not really, but you get my point. Just like getting creative and having no types and having, like, I do have a spank bank. Like I have several images that I rotate through. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Although they have changed in recent years. Like they tend to, it's like this. I'll have a set of images I work with for a few years. Then they grow stale and a new image arrives from wherever. And then that is part of a new kind of bank of images. And then that goes stale. And then there's it. So like that.
I wonder if anybody's ever done like a study, like even a spiritual study, like if you could analyze the sort of spiritual lesson from any particular like angle of spank bankery. Like, oh, you always like to look or think about jizz on the face or something.
Yeah.
Then you're like, what does that tell us about not necessarily about your dad or whatever, like that shit, but the more like spiritual part of it. Like, what is that talking about?
I'm me, so I always think about all of this. Like as I'm watching it happen, I'm going like, this seems to be about blah, blah, blah. And then I'm asking, what are you looking up right now on the internet?
I'm looking up if I have anything in Pisces. And if so, here's the question about the Pisces. Pisces is what we were talking about earlier. Yes. So when Pisces is, what is it? Is it in transit? It's in retro. What is it about Pisces that's happening right now?
I believe we have a Pisces moon in the sky at the moment, but I'm actually not entirely sure. I'll look it up while you're asking what you're asking.
And so then the question is, does that affect? So if I have Pisces, well, my end node is in Pisces. Then do we look at what the end node is and see if that particular aspect of myself is more activated right now?
Do you mean North Node?
Yes, I guess that's what it is. I'm just looking at one thing. I don't think I feel that's my only Pisces. It's just my North Node. Yeah.
What?
So I'm reading what that says about me, and I'm like directly like, yep, that's what's happening right now. You're attracted to others who need your assistance. You seem to go out of your way to form a relationship for those who are weak, sick, injured, addicted, or troubled in some way or another. At your best, you can indeed provide the relief that others need. But at times you can be victimized by those who would prey on your good nature and take advantage of you. My point being, what I'm witnessing right now is me thinking people need my support and trying very hard to maintain the boundaries against that. But that's what is being activated in me right now, is that like helping someone who is in need, hurt, sick, or injured. So it works.
Pisces is the wounded bird that attracts to it other wounded birds. I believe we just have a moon in Pisces right now. That's what's happening. I don't know how long though. I can never pull these things up when we're talking about them. Hold on. I have one more thing I could look at. Pisces season. Pisces season is here. Oh, it's just because we're in the month of Pisces.
Oh, it's just that we're in Pisces in general.
Yeah, but there's something else. The moon is doing something during the new moon in Pisces on February 19th.
Yeah, Pisces moon doesn't start until later March. Pisces moon, March 19th through March 21st.
When the sun dips into this mystical water sign. Yeah, so we're just in the month of Pisces.
Okay, that makes sense. But still fun to talk about. Like looking at.
No, but it's very relevant because when it's the month of Pisces and you have Pisces, that's a thing.
Right. So when you're in the month of Pisces, anywhere you have Pisces, that piece of yourselves may be juiced up, especially.
Will be. New moon in Pisces on February 19th. So we just had a new moon in Pisces. That's the specific thing we had.
Got it.
That's all I can say about it.
Okay.
I am too Piscean right now to be specific.
Too watery.
Vague, spacey, otherworldly, not here. So anyway, a few minutes ago, I was shuffling the cards and I was getting really strongly to shuffle the cards. And I have a 3-card spread here, but I don't know who it's for. And I've been trying to ask. So I'm going to ask out loud. Is this for our listeners? No. Is this for the collective? No. Is this for Cassidy? No. Me? No. Is this for all of those things? Is this for the listeners of our podcast? I already asked that. Well, who the fuck is this for? Me and Cassidy? Somebody in Cassidy's life? Margaret's husband? Who the fuck is this for? Weasel? Who am I missing?
Somebody who I've been...
Rami? It's for Rami.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
God, that's very specific.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Rami here. I am in the San Francisco Bay Area, which, so it snowed here. If you're not from here or haven't, that's not a thing. But it doesn't snow here. It doesn't snow in the Bay Area. Meanwhile, back in New York City, it didn't really snow this winter. So, those are the times we're living in. I am here doing a dance theater piece about the displacement of Black women, mainly due to gentrification, but also something that's not really talked about in the news is that Oakland is a major sex trafficking hub. Anyway, walking around in this cold-ass Bay Area right now, I am just, taking in this crazy polar economy, the rich what's it called? The wealth gap in the Bay is just ridiculous. And then since COVID now, in downtown San Francisco and downtown Oakland, there's just empty buildings everywhere, empty businesses gone. So you're walking around, you're looking at all these empty buildings, and then you're looking at all these unhoused people with no building, you know? If you're not from here or haven't been here, you cannot imagine how massive the unhoused population is in the Bay Area and in California. LA too, I think, probably. You can't imagine it because we don't have anything else that looks like that in the United States. It's really unbelievable. So, but anyway, it's massive. And so this visual, the unhoused and the empty buildings. God, I hate unused resources when people are in need. It hurts. It really hurts. Rami's rules.
All right, here you go, Rami. This is for you.
About to have your stuff on blast. Here it comes.
No idea why this is coming up so strongly. Well, is Rami going through some shit right now?
A little bit. I don't know. Maybe not as much as what I was. I mean, they have been recently.
Yeah.
I feel like they're starting to come out of that.
Okay. Well, this is a nice, simple one here. I'll just do it. And then this was just very strong and I couldn't not shuffle. And then we should pull some for like listeners, you, me, whoever. So in the recent past, there was the encouragement card. It's two giraffes being very cute together. It usually has to do with love. We'll talk about that. Present moment, movement. It's usually about travel or some kind of moving. And the outcome card is the spirit of place card. And this is a card that the essence of the card is, we've actually talked about this card on here before. It's a tricky one, the wording of it in this deck, but it's essentially like figure out the connective tissue of what is the theme of the problem. Like understand what the real underlying theme of the problem is, and then you'll get the freedom and the whatever you're looking for. So I'm just going to read this spread for them. Recent past encouragement. This card tells you that you're being gently encouraged to step into your power, into the dream of your life. New things are out there to be explored, and the nurturing power of the universe is giving you a nudge in the right direction. You will get the help you need and won't be alone in your quest. Every step you take right now is supported by the wisdom of the universe. You're on the right path. Keep going. That's pretty cool. That's the recent past. The present moment. This is a time for positive momentum as you come out of a period of restriction. They were a little bit. You're in a stage of new adventure and discovery. You may feel compelled to take a trip, to the Bay Area.
Right.
Change your hair or move your home or business. Regardless, you can't remain where you are anymore. You feel compelled to go forward. No matter what your inquiry, you'll see that your dreams take form and doors previously shut begin to open as if by magic. I think this has to do with their career. Movement is also a state of mind. The fog lifts and you now know the actions you need to take. This isn't the time for fear. Let it go and move forward. The outcome will be, this one's tricky. Authenticity is the essence of power. Authenticity is the essence of power. Our ancient ancestors believed that every place has a spirit looking after it or embodying it, just as we have a soul. The plants, trees, birds, mountains, and rivers have their own essences. When the spirit of place arrives in your reading, it says that the answer to your query is in the overarching theme of your circumstances. Is your question about a struggle? The answer is to relax and let go of your need to control the situation. If your inquiry relates to finding love, then embody love rather than longing for it. In other words, once you find the essential truth that underlies your question and then name it, you'll discover the answer you've been seeking. Your greatest power is your authenticity. I mean, I get a big download here about this. Forward momentum in the career, and the outcome is you'll be put in a position or several positions where you need to, they'll ask you direct questions, and the key, Rami will know what I mean by this, is pull the mist of yourself from being spread out into the midline and be as truthful as you can possibly be. that's actually what they want from you, as opposed to being expansive and misting out and being everything and everyone or nothing and no one. This is like they want the mist pulled into the midline and spoken for. So for everybody else, that's like about, this is something that's been up in class, but like, it's really just about Rami being authentically Rami and standing in the truth of what is true for them, not what does everybody else need and want and how can I be everywhere at all times for everyone else. Somehow I think that's going to be really relevant at work. Okay, cool. We'll have to let Rami know there's a reading for them on the...
Yeah.
Okay, now we're going to pull for you, I guess. It's coming rapid fire. It's just happening. Cassidy, Jamal Brown. So what does Cassidy need to know about it this time? Past, present, future. What would be useful info for him? Do you have any specific questions, Cass?
My question right now has to do with, I have been really aware of like the process I'm in with this show and kind of swinging back and forth between, oh my God, this is impossible. We'll never make it. We haven't done it and everything. People aren't taking care of the shit they need to take care of. And actually recognizing that as being completely made up and a remnant from a previous version of myself and a narrative of all that is to say, going back to this sort of state of just like, I'm just going to do what's in front of me. Right. And I'm good at that. And that's plenty for me. And it'll be what it'll be when we see an audience on Thursday. And detaching from outcome a little bit. So I guess my question has to do with like, is there anything deeper on that in terms of like how best to serve? Nope, that's not the question.
I have the cards here. They just happened. It's very strong. So let's see what they say. I bet it'll be.
Just talk to me.
So in the recent past, the listening card.
Yeah.
Which is an open heart will hear the message. When this card appears, you're being reminded there's a time to speak and a time to be silent. Now is an occasion for listening. Pay attention not only to what is being spoken, but also to what is not being spoken at the moment. For the deep, which is ironic given that.
Oh, well, that's so right. I mean, that's exactly what this is, whole process. It is about listening, but sometimes I'm listening to silence.
Right.
But I talk so little in rehearsal, except when I'm saying my lines.
Huh?
I've never talked this little.
Huh?
It's great.
Okay. Listen, for the deeper message is not always obvious. Listen with your heart, not just your ears, and you'll find clarity. Receiving the listening card is a fortunate sign and ensures a greater understanding of your circumstances. Recent past. That's really cool.
That brings tears to my eyes.
I know. It touches me too. I love you. I feel like this show has just been a miracle on so many levels.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's like a profound experience, what's happening.
I was talking to Lynn Sofer, you know Lynn probably,
yeah.
Vocal coach person. Today we were working on my fucking Dutch accent, hardest accent to do. Ooh, so hard.
So hard.
So hard. But I've got it pretty good. But I sound a little South African sometimes, but like Afrikaans. Well, which it's a Dutch derivation. And she said, I was sort of describing this process of not worrying about it being the thing, or whatever, and just letting go and letting God, basically.
Yeah.
And she was like, yeah, well, this is a mitzvah for Aaron, but also for us.
Yeah. Fuck yeah. It really is.
Yeah. And, and mitzvah being it's not just a favor. A mitzvah it's a human miracle. Yeah. It's like a 3D miracle is how I think of it. It's right here, but it is spiritual, but it is also a thing I am giving you or doing for you.
It's very karmically healthy.
Yeah. So it feels good.
Present moment is the sacred pool. Speaking of giving mitzvahs, the world is a reflection of your thoughts, feelings, and beliefs. Embody the love you wish to see in the world. When you look in the mirror, do you like what you see? This card asks that you focus on self-love and self-esteem. Reflect by the sacred pool and be at peace with yourself. A detached self-examination made with rigorous honesty is called for now. Can you see how far you've come and how magical your life is? Do you notice the spark of the divine shining through your eyes? When you're conscious that you're the embodiment of spirit, it becomes easier to act in good conscience. Then you'll reap the greatest rewards. Your unique service to the world is not only needed, but celebrated. See the love within you and know that if you cast it upon the waters, it will return to you tenfold. Be at peace, for you are beautiful and loved. Act with surety and confidence, and success shall be yours, whatever your inquiry.
Okay. Yeah.
Sounds like just like what you were just saying.
Yeah. It's not a really activated, like, pursue, do. It's like, no, just do you.
Be the love.
Be the love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, when you let go and let God, you can't help but be the love. What's left?
Yeah.
There's no ego in letting go and letting God.
Yeah. I love this. This is a gift so far.
Oh, good. And then the outcome is the balancing act. You are calm within, no matter the fluctuation of outer conditions.
That's exactly what I'm talking about.
There are times when things seem a bit topsy-turvy and it feels as if you're juggling 1,000 balls in the air. Perhaps you're unsure of your footing. Now is the moment to evaluate which areas of your life need balance and then restore equilibrium. Choose harmony over discord and great success will be yours. You'll find inner stability when you choose a balanced, focused, and level path.
These are all very similar in their, they only feel that way because I'm still thinking about it in terms of the show and how, just being, like I was backstage waiting to do a transition during the Q to Q, and I started to get impatient because they were wasting time on one thing that we knew wasn't going to get solved. And I was like, we just blasted a half hour that we do not have. And I could have said something, or I could have gotten involved, which would have done nothing but add to the chaos, but also would not have helped me. And then I just was able to like breathe back and just be like, it'll get done. Or if it doesn't, it's not my problem. I mean, I'm involved, but it's not mine to do. That's what it is. It's not mine to fix. And then the people who are there doing a really great job of working with nothing did a great job of solving it. And I didn't need to get involved. So I did that multiple times. Every once in a while I'd be like, hey, we're going on to that transition that you're in. I would just sort of mention it to someone who wasn't paying attention, and that was fine. And if I hadn't, and I didn't do that a few times, and that person jumped up from their seat and still made the transition.
Right. Yep.
That's all.
Seems pretty clear. Good for you.
Yeah. It's all like, just model what you want by being it.
Yeah. And I like the listening card because it talked about listen with your heart. When you listen with your heart, you know what needs to be done, as opposed to the mind that's like, go, figure it out, solve it, go,
Yeah. I spent a lot of time like listening to Erin in the field more than in the words, like checking in, like, is she just so frustrated that she wants to scream right now, but she literally can't scream? Or is she actually okay? Like, and I think there's a little of both, but I've been trying to kind of just vibe, like listen to her sort of at a distance while she's typing notes or they're making cues, and just checking in with this human who can't express herself the way she spent all of her life doing.
So she can't talk at all? She
literally can't talk. She has lost the ability to speak. You want to talk about a deeply karmic lesson that she is involved in. I know this woman well. I've known her for 25 years, and
I know.
She's a force.
Uh-huh.
And her words are a force. Sometimes for the better, sometimes for the worse.
Yeah.
So she is being forced to like go deep into the space of humbleness and patience, and still communicating and do the work she wants to do, but from a different place.
Yeah. All right. I have 3 more cards. These are for me.
Great. Let's hear them.
This fucking card. The recent past is the cleaning house card. Are you with me?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
The present moment is the One Ring Circus reversed. And the outcome is the Moonlight card, which is about intuition, psychicness, and all of that we just talked about. All right. So the recent past, cleaning house. Son of a bitch, this card is my life. It's time to clear the clutter and make way for better things. This is good. When you see the cleaning house card in a reading, it's time to declutter your life. Get rid of unwanted things in your physical home and release what you no longer want or truly need. Is there any unfinished business you should address? Thoughts, memories, and emotional baggage must be swept out of your house as well. Your conscience must be clear for you to move freely in the world. This is cool. I can tell you. This is a recent past. I can talk about this. Celebrate a spring cleaning and feel the freedom as you make way for much better things. Look at what you've resisted discarding and be honest about its value. Be honest. Clean house. about a week ago, I had a reading with a woman I met up in upstate New York. She's really excellent with cards, specifically the tarot. We had an hour and a half reading, and she was like, you still have some shit with your mom that you have not processed. And I threw a fucking fit for a second and was like, the amount of hours I fucked you sitting down, healing energy. I was just mad. And I was watching myself be mad and being like, I'll be unmad in 1 second. I just need to be mad because fuck you, universe. Fuck you. Like, how many fucking hours? How many? Anyway. So after I got over that, I was like, you're right. I hate her still. So then I had a full week long, I don't know if I talked about this on here, but there was like magic synchronistic things that kept occurring that were all about her. One was an interaction with an improv friend that led to a topic in therapy that led to a difficult conversation with some theater people that led to a second therapy session. And there was like crying throughout all of that. And all of it was the weight, this sort of like emotional weight in my heart of resentment for people who haven't done their work, which all comes from when you have a mother who's really, really asleep, it hurts you. You get pain. And so then I just created like, therefore, people who don't do their work, AKA every fucking buddy, because really, we're all not doing our work perfectly. And I have this perfectionistic notion about how people should fucking wake the fuck up already. And they fucking don't. And that's my work to do and like, the thing of it is like, I've looked at that before. It's not a new idea for me, but this fucking living in Florida shit for me has been thing after, I've said this before, thing after thing that I've already looked at, but on the like very visceral, emotional level, like there's this layer of it that I seem to only be able to access here in this state. Because you've watched me over the last bunch of years, certain shit went on in Colorado healing wise, certain shit happened in New York, and now this is where we are. I mean,
it's a little on the nose that she's moved
here.
To your mom's town, literally.
And my home state where all of it went down and yeah, all of it. I mean, but so anyway, just this huge processing. And then I sat on the couch and did energy work on it and called it all up and did all the blah, shibbity bow. Feel a lot lighter. Very tired though. I now realize too, I'm also tired still from all that. It's like, that was a lot. And then I've been exercising a fuck ton and eating like caloric deficitly, because I'm still losing weight. I don't know if I've said this here either. I've lost 12 pounds. Have I told you that? Yeah. And it's been great. I put on all this COVID weight and I was like, I need to know. So now I'm down to pre-COVID weight, but like even pre-COVID weight was 10 pounds overweight. So we're working on that harder 10 to lose. And I'm not looking to go below that. I just want to get back to where like my like heart is functioning correctly. And like my BMI is not 40%. It's like 25, like it's supposed to be for a human. Anyway, so I'm doing that and getting some help and blah, blah, blah. All of it is very connected to all of this emotional shit about resenting this woman for not doing her work, basically. Anyway, that's cleaning house, and all of it explains why I'm tired. That was the connection there with the blah, blah, blah. Emotional work plus orange theory plus caloric deficit makes for a tired Katie. All right, the present moment, we're in a one-ring circus, but reversed, which is interesting. If you think that the sun won't rise without you, then it's time to change. Perhaps you believe no one will be there to help you, or you expect that you have to do all the work. I do expect that.
Yeah.
Emotional or otherwise. This is a fear-based idea and only serves to alienate you from others by taking away their right to participate. Receiving the one-ring circus card may indicate the misuse of power. Give it up. Let go of the need to control how the wind blows and let others play their part. You don't need to be invincible, have all the answers, or be the savior. Enneagram 8. Things will get done if you step out of your own way. Yet another meaning for this card suggests that someone else may be trying to control you. This needs to be addressed. Don't be afraid to set a boundary. This is a wonderful step to interdependence. Consider the example of two trees planted side by side, sharing the sunlight equally, neither overshadowing the other. Oh, I think it's more about me letting go the need to control how it all unfolds. Yep, that seems clear.
Yeah. I mean, I hear that one too. That one's That one's pretty much good broad advice. That one carries, it carries general advice as well as being very specific to you right now.
Yeah. I mean, for me, it's like such a common, it's like so essential. I have gate 21 off of an open ego. You know what I mean?
Right. What is this with you and your gate 21 8 Enneagram shit? Come on now. What do you expect?
Exactly. We're not even going to analyze that or explain it. We'll just let it hang. The outcome is moonlight.
Let it hang like a gate.
Like a hanging gate, dormant potential. Your intuition.
We should write songs.
Your intuition allows you to see beyond, this is the outcome, see beyond the mundane, logical, and analytical. Follow it. Moonlight beckons. Come. Trust your intuition to lead you into places that may not seem logical. Your hunches will be right on target. Resist second-guessing yourself, for your alternative perception is especially sharp right now, which we just said before we started talking about this. You can see beyond the surface of things and truly read between the lines. What a surprise. This is a good time to use oracle cards or other systems of divination to gain information. Remember that the language of intuition is a symbolic one. It comes subtly through a hunch, a tingling, a clear sound, or an animal or object crossing your path. Spirit is sending you messages to help you now. Success is yours if you follow the signs. And another thing my psychic buddy said in her reading from you was, your time in Florida has everything to do with the divine feminine and embodying it more fully. And I also got real mad about that because I was like, how much fucking divine feminine fucking work do I have to fucking do in this fucking lifetime? Everything's been the divine feminine for 20 years. What else? I went to 3 healing schools. How much more divine feminine can there be? I guess more. Good stuff. I'm going to do one more for the people listening.
I was thinking, this came to me, and tell me whether I'm being too specific, but what came to me is narrowing that read a little bit to those who would say that they're in a particular struggle right now, who are struggling right now, who are in a little more pain of our listeners.
Okay.
Is that too specific?
I mean, it reads like, go ahead and do that. So let's do that.
Okay.
All right. Those of you listening who just feel like you're going through a thing and it's annoying or hard and you wish you weren't. Whew, we're speaking to consciousness now about it. Asking for guidance for everybody. Knowing consciousness, they won't hear this until Saturday. What information would be useful for the folks who generously give their time and listen to us gab? What would be useful for them to hear? Those who are struggling. Are these the, yeah. Okay. Oh, the energy is really intense.
Yeah, I was going to ask if those are energy yawns or if those are I'm exhausted yawns.
No, these are energy yawns. These are, I'm tapping into the energy of those who are struggling in our listenership. Okay, so just real quick, for everybody listening who's just going through a thing right now, I have a hard time with the phrase struggling. I'm always like, how do you define, am I struggling or am I just having a thing right now? I don't know. It's my ego thing with that word. Just feel into, if you could close your eyes for a second and just feel into the back of your neck or your heart or your throat or your belly or your pelvis, somewhere below the head, wherever it feels tight or heavy or contracted or nervous or angry or scared or sad. Will you just sink your attention into that place? Yeah, that's good. And I'm just meeting that part of you with a bunch of divine light. The light is very much flowing. Conscious awareness. When conscious awareness hits the energy of some struggly point, a stuck emotion, a heavy emotion that isn't moving, it brings it up more, right? It makes you cry or feel it worse. get angrier, express the anger, get more tired, get more anxious. Just know that's what should happen. That's how it moves out. Energy in motion, emotions, energy in motion. So when we feel feelings, we want to feel them. We want to cry. We want to be angry. We want to be scared and sad. And we want to let those energies move. And emotions only cause cancer, disease, and death when we don't let them move. I mean, Okay. All right. That was a big movement that was not going to go anywhere until we addressed it. And now we can look at these cards. So, for those of you listening, in the recent past, take a breath, maybe ground yourself a little bit. Feel into the earth below your feet. Know that there's a squeezle dog being very furry right behind me. And she's giving a lot of love, a lot of cuddles, a lot of warm, furry body vibes. All right, in the recent past, we have the unexpected visitors card. Present moment, slow and steady is the card. The outcome is the protecting treasure card, which has to do with having faith that you are safe. Excuse my burps. All right. So in the recent past, you've had some kind of unexpected visitor, be that an energy or a process or a job or a person. Detours, surprises, and paradigm shifts. Expect the unexpected. No matter how detailed your plans are and how clear you believe the road ahead to be, there are times when the best laid plans are waylaid by unforeseen circumstances. At first, detours may seem inconvenient, but a surprise turn of events signals that the adventure of life is beginning to get interesting. No one can plan for synchronicity, for fate and destiny to meet, except spirit, who knows what you can't comprehend for now. Life is full of surprises, so stay on your toes and enjoy this exciting new adventure you weren't expecting. There is a plan for your life that may not match up with your agenda. Detours, paradigm shifts in the recent past, but that also open up new adventures, new fun unfoldings. If only we could stay open to them. Which brings us to the slow and steady present moment. Slow and steady wins the race. Remember the old cliche, slow and steady wins the race? This is a time for easy movement, unhurried steps, and a steady heart. Trust that taking life at a more leisurely pace will give you greater access to your dreams. Slowing down allows more contact with the juicier elements of your life. Savor them. Pretty simple.
Yeah.
And of course, we know that anytime we're struggling, it's always wise to slow down, not try to rush through, but be present with what's up, with what you're struggling with. Be present with it. That's how you move it through your nervous system faster. We think like, get busy, stay distracted, don't feel it. But then that just slows the process of it moving through you.
Yeah.
It would actually go faster if you were to be with it. All right, and the outcome is protecting treasure. You are always protected and divinely directed. Although this is a time of great risk, know that at a fundamental level, you are able to move forward safely and securely. The proverbial nest egg is safe and sound, no matter the fluctuations in the world. Guardian angels and other guides are whispering to you, making you aware of their protective presence. Your loyalty is an important theme now. Nurture that which you hold dear. This is a good time to strengthen bonds of friendship and ensure their integrity. If you feel tested right now, know that a true and loyal heart always achieves its aim. Take refuge under an angel's wing. You are not alone. You have no need to fear. Embrace your courage. So, paradigm.
That's a pretty good set of things for being on the struggle bus right now.
for shiz. In the recent past, some kind of paradigm shift, unexpected visitor, slow and steady. In the present moment, breathe, take it easy. And outcome is you could trust, like, grab your courage, because you could trust that the nest egg is protected. You're divinely directed. It's going to be okay. That present moment card is what I would say is the most important one to pay attention to. Just breathe, sink into what's up. Sink into it rather than trying to escape it. You'll get a lot more traction out of that.
Yeah.
Good shit.
Good shit. Yeah, that was good. I think, I have some particular people in my heart and mind when you were doing that, and I'm excited for them to listen to it.
That's good. I'm glad to hear it.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I'm going to open the Margaret email again. Was it an email?
That was an email, yes. I forwarded it to you, but I can also look at it, pull it up. And you haven't heard back from her?
Mm-mm.
I have it here if you want it.
Yeah, I don't have it, so.
Should we just take it on?
Yeah.
We got another half hour or so if we need it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I am ready to read it to you if you are ready.
Is his name there?
Yep. And his birth date.
What's his name?
Matthew Eric Wickstrom.
Okay, give me just a second. Just connecting in with him. Okay, I'm ready.
Just for the listeners, I'm wondering, Katie, you have, more and more indicated that you can just slide into the records instead of having to go through the rigmarole. Is that what you're doing? I'm
basically saying, will you take me into the Akashic Records of Matthew Eric Wickstrom, and I can just feel my channel blow open in the back of my neck, and then my whole orientation of my body shifts, and then I know it. Yeah, so yes.
No, that's what I thought, but I just, we used to have to take 10 minutes to do that.
No, I know. And also, I'm telling you, the Pisces time makes it easier.
There's no walls. You're like, there's not even a door. I just walk through the doorway.
That's it. Okay.
All right. Here we go. Listen up. He says, I am a 6'2" that at one point was waiting breathlessly for the return of Chiron, which we can explain to the listeners what that means. In a minute. I will turn 53 in 4 months' time, and I am losing my patience. I'm experiencing more chaos and confusion than ever before. While I have some faith that my path will bring me the things I need at the right time, I can't help but fall back into my conditioned urge to become proactive, despite the frustration this causes me. Can you help or give me any guidance on all of this? How much longer do I have to wait? Of course, I already know that the answer will be something like, until you're ready, but still I ask anyway. At times, I would dearly love to know more about what I don't know, but I also don't want to ruin the surprise. Can I get a hint?
Okay, give me a moment here. Did he say he's turning 53?
Yes, he said 53 in 4 months.
Okay, so that means Chiron has already returned. It returns when you're 50. So, okay, for the listener, for the 6'2", 6-line people in particular have a very strong relationship with the Chiron return, which happens at age 50 for all of us. So the 6'2" has a tripartite life, right? It's the first third of it is the trauma and the stuff. The second third is integrating, processing, healing, going on the roof, stepping away from life in a way. There's always a pane of glass between ourselves and the world. We're up on the roof, watching, observing, learning, figuring out, how to heal our stuff and who we look to as role models. Who do we emulate and want to be like? And through the second portion of the tripartite life for a 6'2", we become, theoretically, hopefully, if Matthew Eric Wickstrom, we do our work during that time. When we come off the roof at age 50 and are thrust back into the world in a more immediate, direct, activated way that is less on the roof, less observery. If we've done our work in the second part of life, we show up as the optimist, hermit role model that we are. That's the big clue for 6-2 folks about, have you done all your deconditioning work? Have you done your processing in the second part of life thoroughly enough? If when you come off the roof at age 50, you're more optimistic than pessimistic, then you're doing pretty well. Because the tripartite journey for the 6-2 is the movement from pessimism to optimism. It's the activation of the Buddha on the hill. You should be so uniquely you at this point and living so authentically as your true self that whether you're in a position of authority or not, people are already looking to you as a role model of someone who really bees themselves and isn't out here trying to be what everybody else is. So you could ask yourself, am I fully already a role model of someone who's being uniquely their own idiosyncratic self? Am I living actually authentically? And do I experience more optimism than pessimism? Do I see the world through a kind of Buddhist rose-colored glasses that is actually the rose-colored glasses of enlightenment as opposed to the rose-colored glasses of denial or fantasy? So when I hear your question, what I hear is, and by the way, I've worked with plenty of 6-2s who are thrust off the roof and are not ready. I mean, fucking a lot of them, it's the way they experience it sometimes is like, holy shit, there's all this work and they want me to come over here. And now people are saying, do this and will you do that? And I'm not sure I have that. And I don't know how to do that. And I feel unprepared. Part of that is because the hermit part of you, the second line body, never wants to really come off the roof or come out of the house, frankly, because you have a sensitive body, very sensitive body, and you're going to be much more comfortable hermitizing. You want to be on the fucking hill with people coming to you. So it's only through deconditioning, aka doing all of the work you could do and need to do on yourself, that it becomes less jarring, though it will always be a certain degree of jarring to be thrust off the roof at age 50 for a 6-2. So I hear that there's more deconditioning for you to do. Now, the second I open your records, I'm brought into throat, heart, belly, throat, heart, belly. There's some work that could be done. Like, in other words, you're like in your heart and you express yourself and you have a connection to your gut and what you know. There's a real like in the body kind of awareness for you. But what I notice is less developed is the third eye, the crown, the root, and the second chakra. So grounding and second chakra are more developed than third eye and crown. It's like you're oriented towards your physical form, which is great. I would do some deconditioning, aka trauma processing. Hold on. Yeah, in chakras 1 and 2, the genitals, the reproductive organs, the sensuality, the creativity, the sexuality, power, creativity. And then I'm just really wondering, actually, I'm wondering about your relationship to your head. Yeah. What I get about it is there's just something less evolved about your spiritual connection and less evolved about your intuitive sense, your seeing through time and space, and also your experience of throat, heart, and gut is there. It's real. You're connected to yourself. However, it would be cool. What we want ultimately is all parts functioning on all cylinders, right? There's like a weight to you, a gravity, like a gravitas that keeps you reliable, grounded, not crazy. You're like, I'm not fucking crazy. I'm right here. I know what's up. Now, folks who are capable in that way can also be shut down to expansive states of being, like this whole Pisces episode we've been talking about today, they can be a bit resistant to the finer, lighter frequencies and to the energies of nurturance and love that the earth has to offer you. I get that you're a grounded individual, so you're connected to the earth, but there's a subtler level that the earth would like to connect with you through. And all of this comes back to processing all the wounds in your heart. I think there's a way that your system goes like, I'm not doing all of that. Come on, I'm doing fine. I don't need to go back to childhood again. But your heart is saying to me, yeah, you do. Like in the same way that I shared just a moment ago that this very past week, I was like confronted with more shit about my mom. And I'll tell you what motivated me. Let's just be very real here. I don't need any karmic tie to this woman. I don't want to deal with her again. So I need to be fully, and I mean in the next life, because we won't be seeing each other in this life. But in the next life, I don't need any more of that. So I want to be very free of her. Anything unresolved we have with the people in our childhoods comes with us. Anything. You don't get to leave some of it behind. You take everything until you have nothing left to take. Also, you know, if the karma is heavy and the energies are not clear, you don't always get what you're looking to get. Certain things may not come to fruition if you've still got a bunch of hate. And you might say to yourself, well, but they're dead, or I'll be dead, or who cares, or it's not that big a deal. It's just energy. Or how does how much anger you carry for your mom have anything to do with your inheritance, or anything to do with, I don't know, other relationships you'll have or not have in the future in this life? Well, the answer is it just 100% does. So for me, it's like, I've watched many times in my life the way that clearing up the energy of a resentment, for example, in my heart about someone who's 3,000 miles away, changes the way money flows into my life that very day. And then forever after. It completely changes my relationship to feeling happy, joyous, and free. It changes my relationship to my friends. It changes everything. So this is kind of like a long-winded plea from the universe to lighten your load by doing some more deconditioning. Do some grieving through your heart of some childhood stuff. Activate your spiritual connection a bit more. Connect the heart to all the other chakras. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, all of them. It all needs to be connected through your spiritual connection. Now you might say, why? Why does it need to be? No, it doesn't. We have free will. We can choose what we want. Yes, but you're asking here in this question for your Chiron return miracles. You're asking for it all to become clear to you and for it all to make sense. And how much longer do I have to wait? Well, the answer is as long as you don't do your work. And I should say in your case, the next levels of your work. The degree to which you don't process what's still heavy in your heart, throat, belly, second chakra, first chakra, and what is not open in the third eye and the crown is the degree to which you will feel lost and confused for the rest of your embodiment this time around. I hope that makes sense. Did I miss?
I think it's pretty straightforward. I like that idea of scale. It's like, it's not like you didn't do this, so you're not going to get it. It's, well, you want to go farther, then go farther.
Yeah. Did I miss anything in the question? Because I'm going to close.
I don't think so. I think you pretty much covered it. The question was pretty broad, just like, when is it going to get here?
Well, what's interesting being with his energy, being with your energy, it's Matthew, right? Matthew?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is it feels very nice in here in the sense that it's not like terrible, tormented pain. There's just like normal people pain, which can be an easy thing to justify as being not a big enough deal to do anything about.
Right.
And it's nice to be with it because you feel just like a guy in his body who's like doing life. What's the problem? Like in my case, I'll compare you to me just to make this point. I had so much crippling, tormenting, torturous pain I couldn't be in the body. I couldn't do shit. I just was fumbling around. So I had to do all the things and make my whole life be about fucking healing because I had to get anywhere, to get to baseline, to get to what for you was just like when you were 9, it was already there. So I have raced past you, my friend, in terms of my, this is an important point, in terms of the coherence of my inner reality and the ways that my humanity is intermingled and merged with my higher consciousness. Consciousness wants you in particular vibrating at a higher frequency. You're vibrating perfectly fine, but it wants you higher. That's your purpose. You're here to become the hermit role model, you know? So if it isn't falling into place, it's because things aren't vibrating at a high enough frequency. Anyway, it's understandable why you haven't gone there because it's not been that bad. So the motivation has been there. It's been there, but only so much so.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to close his records here, even though I didn't formally open them because I'm very with him and now I need a formal thing. I want to thank the masters, teachers, and loved ones for their love and compassion. I want to thank consciousness. I want to thank the lords of the records for their point of view. I want to thank the Holy Spirit of life for all knowledge and healing. I ask that you return all of Matthew Eric Wickstrom's energy to himself. I ask that you return Matthew Eric Wickstrom to his complete human wholeness now. The divine portal and the Akashic records of Matthew Eric Wickstrom are now closed. Amen. The divine portal and the Akashic records of Matthew Eric Wickstrom are now closed. Amen. The divine portal and the Akashic records of Matthew Eric Wickstrom are now closed. Amen, amen, amen. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, ashhadu anna Muhammad abduhu wa rasulullah. Okay, that was good. Juicy juice.
Juicy J. Nicely done.
I don't remember anything that just happened. I just literally went, what did we just do?
Well, just to review, you just read Matthew's records and talked about his 6-2 and his Chiron return.
Oh, yeah.
And prior to that, you read the struggling listeners' cards. You read your cards, you read my cards, and you read Rami's cards randomly.
That part I remember. I remember all that. It was the thing about him. I was like, what did we just fucking talk about? But I got you. It's interesting too, when the person's energy, like when I'm no longer like vibing with them, it depends on the person, but largely for me, it's a relief to have their field out of my field. But in this case, it was funny because it was like, as him, which of course I'm not being him fully, but I don't know another way to say that. But sitting in his essence is so different from mine that I can only understand it being inside of it. And when it's gone, I'm like, what just happened? I don't know what that is. How do you do that? Like that way of being?
Yeah, you can't fathom it.
Delightfully different from mine.
Nice.
Really interesting. I was talking with we'll wrap it up here, with my human design teacher. I had a class today and she's just the best. She's a great person. And it's Amy. We had her on here, Amy Siraporn. We were talking about the paradox of being someone I have gate, channel 3410, which is this unconscious power that I have that everybody experiences off of me all day, every day. People just like veer away from me on the street because all the fucking power coming off of me that they're afraid of all the time. And I'm like, I experience myself as the 4130 and the 2838, which is like, I'm a golden retriever puppy excited to experience life, who's also deeply sensitive, like so emotional and moody and sensitive with this like impossibly sensitive orientation to reality. So I was talking about, I feel like an unsolvable conundrum. Like I'm so strong, but I'm so sensitive. And how do you do that? You can't do it because the things that you can't, it doesn't work. And she was like, in a way, when you think about it, anytime any relationships you have illuminate the ways that everybody always feels justified in their own strength or sensitivity in the moment, and the opposite. In other words, like if someone says to you something very direct and harsh, you're like, hey man, can you be a little gentler? But 20 seconds later, you might say to someone else something very direct that they experience as harsh. And then they go, hey, man, and like, so we're all sort of constantly, navigating that duality of strength and sensitivity.
Yeah.
And it was good for me to hear her say that, because I'm like, right, I tend to think I'm the only one around dealing with that. And it's not, right?
No, not at all. Yeah. We are complicated, messy beasts that have many faces.
She also taught me part of what's going on for you. She was like, this is because you have open ego. I want to share this for all open ego people. If you have open ego in your human design, open ego people, the not self of the open ego will choose any piece of definition in your chart to justify why you don't deserve to exist. So another way to say that is the not self of the open ego says any assertion of self proves you don't deserve to exist. Because it has no sense of self, an open ego. So the shadow of that, you could say, or the not self of that is like any assertion of self is bad and wrong and shameful, and you don't deserve to be here, and you're a terrible, bad person. Which, of course, is the opposite of people who have definition in the ego, who tend to be like, deal with me. You have the problem.
Yeah, like I'd be curious to see how many open ego people, or let's say let's do it in reverse, how many people who are definitely 9s on the Enneagram have open ego.
God, I would love to see that.
Like, probably not all. There's variations that cause other fluctuations that make you be more like a 9. But I would imagine that a lot of them, because that idea of I don't deserve to exist is like, feels like the central 9 struggle.
But also it's just like, as an 8, I can say, I struggle with it all the time. It's just that framing of it was so helpful to hear, like, how the not self mechanically what it does. It goes like, okay, where does Katie have self? And for me, it's everywhere. I got a lot of fixation. I got a lot of self. There's a lot of me that has a flavor that is very particular to itself. So anytime I'm being any of that, I can come away feeling ashamed.
Oh, good.
If I listen to the not self of my open ego. Or I can do the thing I've become quite practiced at, which is I'm free to give up. And in this case, give up the idea that there's something wrong with having a self.
Oh, it's a hard one.
It is a hard one, particularly for female humans in this culture, non-binary humans in this culture, non-white hegemonic group members in this culture. Where none of us are supposed to have a fucking self or a voice, God forbid.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get it. You're the best. I love you. Thanks for doing this.
I love you very much. I miss you.
Miss you too.
Someday I'll be free and I'll start to travel again. I'm excited to do so, and I'll come see you.
Come out. Oh my God, I can't wait.
All right. Well, have an awesome rest of your day. I'm going to go have a spiritually centered dress rehearsal.
Break legs.
Thank ya.
Will you send my love to Aaron, please?
I will. I'll send a specific greeting.
Okay. Let's all do our work, everybody.
Do all the work. Bye.
What are you asking for? All of the answers? Say what? All of the answers? Yeah, all the answers.
Hey guys, thanks for listening. We'd love to hear from you. Please email us with your questions so that we have questions to answer in the Akashic Records. Our email address is allanswerspod@gmail.com. That's allanswerspod@gmail.com. And if you'd like to find us on Facebook or Twitter, it's @allanswerspod, @allanswerspod. Thank you.
In the middle of the night, I go walking in my sleep, through the jungle of doubt, to the river so deep. I know I'm searching for something so undefined, that it can only be seen by the eyes of the blind. In the middle of the night.
Mixed and edited by Desmond McNeese for We Mixed It, LLC. Go to whatsoundsawesome.com.